Hi, a very good morning and welcome to the final episode this week of BNS in the Stock Game on ET Now. I'm Megha Chadha.
Hi everyone, I'm Avan Dabash and it's the final day, as Megha pointed out, of BNS and the Stock Game. But only at 3:30 will we be declaring who has emerged triumphant. As always, let's give you a glimpse as to what the rules and regulation of BNS and the Stock Game are. It's a portfolio building exercise. So we have three experts. They join in for the entire week. That's Monday up until Friday at 11 a.m. for half an hour. And we give them a notional amount of 5 lakh rupees. With this amount, they must create a portfolio with a total of 4 stocks. They can only select 1 stock from the F&O space. There's a compulsory churn in their portfolio of 2 stocks every single day. Plus, in case a target has been achieved or if a stop loss has been hit, they must replace that stock with a new one. There's also one more rule. If there's a sell call in the cash market, that too must be replaced by the next day. And it's on Friday, that's today, that we will calculate who's made the maximum amount of money on their notional amount of 5 lakh rupees, and that person is declared as the winner. So you get lots of stock ideas from our 3 experts, as well as get to see who is the final winner of BNS and the Stock Game. So let's bring on board then our 3 experts who are going to battle it out this entire week. There's Kunal Saragi of EquityRush.com, who is joining in on the show. We also have with us Mitesh Thakkar of MiteshThakkar.com and Gaurang Shah of Geojit BNP Paribas Financial Services. Gentlemen, thanks very much for joining in. It's the final day, so all the best to all of you. But before we take you through their picks for the day, let's get an idea as to what happened to their portfolios on yesterday's day, where there was a rip-roaring rally, Megha.
Absolutely, and that's something that worked out very well for a lot of our experts. So let's take you through the individual portfolios then. We had Kunal, who had 3 short calls in his portfolio and 1 long. So he hit the target on a Bombay Rayon and a Delta Corp Jan futures. The other 2 calls, an Everest Canter as well as GMR Infra, got stopped out by the day's end, and he was in the second position, making close to 20,600 rupees. Mitesh Thakkar, on the other hand, he had a long-only portfolio yesterday. So other than a Reliance Industries, the other 3 calls hit the target. So Pantaloon, Hathway Cables as well as VIP Industries worked out very well for him, and he was making a gain of 70,000 rupees as of yesterday's trading close. Gaurang, on the other hand, was in the 3rd position. He got stopped out on an SKS Microfinance, a short call there. The other 3 counters did not hit the stop loss or the target, and he was making close to 17,000 rupees by the day's end.
Okay, that's how things panned out, but today is the final day and I'm sure everyone's curious to know what's in their portfolios for today. So we'll start off with Kunal Saragi. Hi Kunal, tell us what's in your portfolio.
Hi Aban, we've got 3 longs today in line with the mood of the market. I've got longs on Dr. Reddy's, Aban Offshore and Tata Motors DVR. All 3 stocks I think should go up going forward. EduComp is the lone short on my portfolio. This is a stock that I think is weak structurally and should go down more. So I've sold the Jan futures for this one.
Okay, so 3 longs and 1 short in Kunal's portfolio for today. But Mitesh, on the other hand, has a long-only position, following up from where we left off yesterday, Mitesh. Okay, so let's go across to Gaurang then and get his picks for the day. Gaurang, you've got 4 buy calls, I believe, for today. So you think the markets are going to maintain the good mood that we've been seeing for the last few days?
I guess so, and that's why I put up Nifty futures as long. I've gone long on. I had to keep Delta from yesterday's position that I had taken, so I've carried forward Delta long. I've gone for positive and long on Nifty futures. Bought Kane India. I'm going long on, and I'm going long on Glenmark. Kane India, late evening, we had news coming out of production ramp up, getting online. And of course, I guess numbers unfold today, so I am looking forward for a positive surprise from there. Unfortunately, yesterday, SKS Microfinance, I got stopped out, but post the market, the result came out, and this morning the stock was down close to about 8 to 9% when we opened up. So that's the part of the game, that's the part of the market, you have to take it in stride. So this morning, yes, I feel the market could hold out today, and that's why I've gone long on all the 4.
Okay, so Gaurang believing that the market can hold out today, which is why he's gone long on all 4 stocks in his portfolio. And Mitesh, looks like you're sharing Gaurang's sentiments too?
Yes, I think there's still a lot of vibrancy in the individual stocks. I think that's the reason for me being long on most of them. I think a lot of mid-cap stocks are still showing signals of breakouts, and we are seeing follow-up buying happening over there. And I've got a buy on Century Textile, a Max India, a Jubilant Food, which I've been liking a lot, and Sun TV.
Okay, that's Mitesh's portfolio for today for long ideas for our viewers. Let's take you through the scorecard then and tell you how their portfolios are performing right now. So we've got Kunal up first. He's been stopped out on a Dr. Reddy's. The other three counters, though, are in the green as we speak. And he's making close to 4.5%, so gains coming in at about 23,000 rupees. Mitesh, on the other hand, has been stopped out on a Sun TV. The other three counters in his portfolio for today are also in the green, and he's building onto those gains, making close to 74,000 rupees. Gaurang as well, it's one counter that's a spot of trouble. We've got Ken, which is causing a bit of bother, but none of the stop losses or the targets have yet been hit, and he is making a cool 18,000 rupees. So let's take it right to our experts and get you more details on their rationale behind the picks for today. Kunal, let's start with you. You've got Dr. Reddy's that you've gone long on. Yesterday, of course, we had the counter hitting a fresh 52-week high. So you were expecting that yesterday's momentum would continue on to today as well?
Yes, Megha, I thought the stock should continue to move up. The fact that it's come down today, I think a correction was probably in order, and it happened today, unfortunately. But I don't see it going below 1620, which is the major support on the charts. It's got a very good, nice-looking structure on the chart. So I think after this small consolidation that we may see over the next few sessions, the stock should do well going forward. And very aggressive targets of over 1750, 1800, I think, are likely on this one.
Okay, pretty aggressive targets likely on a Dr. Reddy's, though unfortunately in today's session he has been stopped out, giving the softness that we've been seeing in the pharmaceutical, particularly the defensive pack of late, lower by 3% as we speak at 1647. But what's holding up in the mid-cap arena is Mitesh's buy call on a Century Textiles. 254 is where it's at. Over the past 1 month, Mitesh, 250 to 255 thereabouts is where it's been. Do you think it's likely to break above these levels now?
Yeah, I would say so. I think, it's kind of completed a journey. It was in a downtrend, went to as low as 220 odd levels, went through a base formation process, and then has given a breakout. So it's come back to 255. I think 260 is the target for the day. That's also some kind of a supply zone. But overall, the pattern is strong enough. I think if the market remains healthy and doesn't go into some kind of correction, I think 282 is where I think the stock is heading towards. So enough upside left. But I think 260 is a level where I would like to book part profits. That's also the target price for the day.
Okay, so the target for the day, 260 as Mitesh said, and 280 probably in a few more days is what you can expect on a Century Textiles. Talk about a Delta Corp. Gaurang, as per the rules of the game, of course, you're retaining it from yesterday. And the counter, after seeing a hammering down to those 52-week lows of, 50, 52, it's shown a smart recovery from those levels at least.
Yeah, and I guess, Megha, this stock did move in a late half an hour trade. Yesterday it went beyond, I think, 76 if I'm not mistaken. This morning it started off, I think, close to about, the opening was 76.5. I still maintain my target because I cannot revise it. That's the sad part of the game. Otherwise I would have, possibly increased it. And I guess by the time we wind up the trade today, I would possibly book full profits. I expect the stock to cross 78. Maybe not today, but at least in the next couple of weeks, with the kind of momentum that we've seen, there will be renewed interest buying coming in. On the fundamentals, we already spoken about it yesterday, and I'm quite optimistic that, a regulator in this particular gaming arena is going to bring out more discipline, more transparency, and more streamline working. So I'm quite optimistic that this particular stock will definitely perform going forward.
Okay, so that's Gaurang Shah retaining a Delta Corp from yesterday, and after its stellar rally, it has tempered down a bit of profit booking, which is why it's lower by just about 0.6% at a level of 75. To the second pick then, let's hear out the rationale behind each of them. We'll go across to Kunal first for an Aban offshore on which he is long. Most of these mid-cap stocks, Kunal, have managed to go beyond their intermediate highs, some even beyond their 6-month highs. What are the kind of levels that you're envisaging for an Aban offshore, which at one point in time was a 700 rupee stock?
Absolutely, Avan. And at one point in time, the stock was actually 5,000 rupee stock. So this has, of course, corrected big time and now trades at a fraction of its long-time, all-time high levels. But what I saw on the charts was a breakout above 435. That's a critical resistance for this stock. And the fact that it closed decisively above that level was what prompted my buy decision. I think there is more room on the upside, and the stock might well touch levels closer to about 485, 490 over the next few weeks in case the markets hold up and the rally continues. So I think that is a fair target. 10% more from the current levels is what one must expect. One should continue to hold longs here with a stop loss close to about 430.
Okay, so continue to remain long on an Aban offshore. That's the advice that Kunal has for you. Do remember the counters had a good run in the month of January. It's again close to 30% alone. Today as well, higher by about 1.25%. Talk about a Max India next. Mitesh, on your long list, the second one for today. And this morning, of course, we had, big bulk deal come into the counter. 40 lakh shares were traded at a level of about 155. Yesterday as well, very strong volume action as well as price movement was what drove the counter higher.
Yes, I think yesterday we had a good bulk deal. The volume suddenly, volume chart started buzzing, and the price also moved up very strongly yesterday to give a good breakout. I think this one started an uptrend which could probably take it to as high as 174, which is the 200-day average, and that's why there's a buy call on that. I've picked up a day price target of 169, which is some kind of an intraday supply zone, but I think this one has clearly got into an uptrend with about 10% upside left from current levels.
Okay, a Max India higher by 1.5%. Mitesh placing a stop at 154 with an upside target of a level of 169. The counter today is higher by 2%. Moving away from that to talk about the Nifty futures on which Gaurang has maintained a bullish stance. It's a 5,065 that you've placed as a target and a stop loss at 49.80. We did have a strong start today. It touched a level of 50-50, though we've tempered marginally from those levels. But Gaurang, what's your trading hypothesis from now? Do you think that the underlying momentum is likely to be bullish and we are going to sustain at these levels, or there are going to be bumps along the way?
No, there are going to be bumps, Avan. Let's not forget that. The fact of the matter is that next week, starting from Monday to Wednesday, it's going to be full of action. You will have the reaction coming in from Reliance numbers that will unfold this evening, late this evening. The reaction will will be visible on Monday. Tuesday we'll have the RBI credit policy, and on Wednesday we have the FNO expiry. So the first 3 days, Thursday of course we have an off because of the Republic Day. So first 3 days of the week next is going to be full of action, and I guess there's going to be a lot of volatility. So our view is that 5,065 to 5,085 is where we'll see the Nifty losing steam on the higher side, and I guess that will be visible by the time we wind up the trade today. But I guess with the numbers coming out, we have some heavyweight numbers coming out which would please the market on the positive side. You will have the pull up to these kind of levels, but I kept my target at 5,065 because I feel that there is going to be new shorts getting opened up, which could lead to a lot of choppiness in the market. So yes, we feel that today will be the day when we'll see the last up leg in the Nifty, and in case if Tuesday RBI does not really oblige what the market expects it to do, then you will have a little bit of problem on hand.
Okay, so things likely to remain kind of bumpy for the benchmark indices, but we'll take a very quick break on that note, then come back and get you the third and fourth trading ideas from our 3 experts. As well as that, do remember, of course, today is the last and final day of this week's edition, so we'll be declaring the winner of BNS and the stock game at 3:30 p.m. on closing trades. That'll be on ET Now. Lovely to have you back with us on BNS and the stock game. And this week, as you know, we're playing the game with Kunal. Mitesh as well as Gaurang. So let's get you the third and fourth trading ideas for today. Kunal, a long call coming in on a Tata Motors DVR. Why is it that you've picked the DVR vis-a-vis the underlying counter?
Well, I think, Megha, if you look at the DVR, the differential between the DVR and the underlying, I think, has widened to some extent. We see a catch-up now on the Tata Motors DVR. It's a great-looking chart. It's consolidated and it's now breaking out. I see a tremendous upside for this particular instrument, and I wouldn't be surprised that over the next couple of weeks we might actually see this going all the way till 125, 130. So I think this is something that can be bought even at the current levels. So that is the reason I recommended a buy on this one.
Okay, and take a look at the kind of rally it's seen over the last 7 days, 12% higher. And you have Kunal, who is not even ruling out a level of 125 to 130 for this stock in the medium term. The counter higher by 1.3% today. And interesting, given that we just had a discussion on hot stocks with respect to investing in DVRs as against equity stocks. But let's move away from that and talk about the consumption play, Jubilant Foodworks. Jubilant, Mitesh, has been very promising from the word go. Let's talk about the long-term prospects. Technically on the charts, do you think that this is a value play among the consumption stocks?
See, I don't know about being a value play, but I think the stock has clearly appeared to have triggered a good uptrend. My sense is that the stock will probably enjoy a serious uptrend for quite some time to come. It's managed to get past the 200-day average. The weekly chart again come into buy mode. So I would look at a price target of about 880 for the day, which is slightly on the aggressive side, but I think that can be tested. My actual targets would be about 1005, which was the all-time high, highest closing the stock had ever recorded. So my sense is that we are probably in for a retest of the all-time highs the stock has had. I think a very, very strong and a very good pattern, and I've been recommending the stock for the last 3-4 days. I think I continue to do that, and today it's also made a place in my portfolio.
Okay, so good run for Jubilant Foodworks continuing. Do remember it's gained close to 9% since Monday itself. And not just that, Mitesh is talking about how it might retest its all-time highs as well. Moving on to Ken India, then Gaurang, the third pick for the day. Considering that a lot of brokerage houses are turning positive on this counter, in fact, for some of them, it's the best pick in the oil and gas play. And given that, we're seeing a pickup come in as far as production is also concerned, that's a big positive.
A huge positive, Megha, and I guess if somebody is wanting to buy Reliance in the oil and gas space, I think it's better to opt for Ken India. Recently, they got the approval from the ministry to up the production by 25,000 barrels a barrel in the Rajasthan oil field. Successfully completed the first phase in Sri Lankan exploration activities that they had started off, and the second phase might get kicked off anytime soon. The production which is there is already tied up for the next 3 to 5 years, and the reserves which are there in the Rajasthan block is only going to go up. So there is immense amount of possibility that revenues in the next 2 to 3 years are going to definitely look robust, and thereby having a very positive impact on the bottom line. I will not be surprised if somebody's got at least 2-3 years time horizon. This particular stock can even reach 4 figures. Well, that all depends upon the commodity prices, especially in the oil side. But with the kind of activity that Ken has, and of course, not to forget the experience, and the assets across the globe, well, it looks quite well positioned itself to move into those kind of leagues. Initially, yes, as a disclosure, we do have buy coverage. Our target initially is 385 to 430. And we'll possibly review it further as the results unfold. And I guess, like I mentioned earlier, today, this evening, or maybe late afternoon, you will have the numbers coming out from Ken India.
Okay, that's a word which is on Ken India. And remember, you have most of the brokerages also which are exceedingly bullish on this stock in the oil and gas space. Morgan Stanley also calling it the only star in this space. 0.3% lower for the counter at 346. To the last pick then in each of their portfolios, in Educom January futures. From December last year, Kunal, it's been a steady downward grind facing quite a bit of resistance on the charts. So you're envisaging more pain.
Absolutely, One. If you look at its structure, it's a weak stock. And although the markets are holding up, and that's probably the reason it's not going down as much as I would have liked, but it definitely is headed lower. And the targets I have in mind on this one are closer to about 180 over the next couple of weeks or probably more. But 180 is where it's headed. So I've gone short on it with a short-term target now on this one. but I think there is more downside. 206 is where I put my target, but I think that the stock might well be headed much lower.
Okay, so that's a word on an Educom for target of 206. Stop loss do put in at about 227 right now as well, about 1% lower in the session. Talk about a Sun TV then, which is Mitesh's last pick for the day. Mitesh, you decided to go long in the counter. 314 is the target that you set out, and it's seen a soft start today, at least from the word go, and right now it's trading close to those days lows. Do you think this is just a one-off situation that we are spotting on the charts here?
I think, on the charts of Sun TV, it's kind of flattered to deceive by, flattered to deceive. I think almost last 3-4 times it's tried to break out about levels of 295, 296. I think today's done again a very similar kind of thing. The overall pattern is sideways, so I was waiting for a breakout about 295, which I thought we'll get it today. The stock did open higher but failed to sustain, so it's out. I think, once again, I think I'll probably look into the stock once it crosses and trades about 296. I think 315, 320. Is the 200 average level, and that's the price target which I'll have in mind. But as of now, I think if somebody's been holding out, the call has been stopped out, so please exit.
Okay, unfortunately been stopped out for a Sun TV, which is lower by just about 3%, but you've got Mitesh, who has maintained a bullish stance on this counter. 286.6 is where it's currently placed at. To the pharmaceutical space then, and Glenmark is what you've got a bullish stance on. Today, we had the news, Gaurang, that it has received the US FDA approval for true oral contraceptive pills, and that's working in its favor. The counter is high by 1%.
Yeah, I wish there would have been much more positivities coming out of it. This is one mid-cap domestic pharma play which looks quite well poised for getting the advantage in the coming 3 to 6 months, 1-year time horizon. We do like the mid-cap pharma space, and we feel that there are some of the stocks which look to be star performers going forward. Cipla, Glenmark, TV's Laboratories, Strides Acrolab, some of the stock ideas that we have under our coverage. Glenmark, if you really go to see strong support at around about 280 levels, I think there was some negativity about a fortnight or a month back when it lost out on one of the litigation cases, went to about 280, then bounced back, and a historical support at about 240. I think that's where the stock started really performing. Initially, we have a target about 345, and in case if the company delivers on the numbers in the next 2 quarters or 3 quarters, then definitely we will not hesitate to revise our targets upwards. But as of now, from a short to medium term point of view and an intraday, I'm working with a target of 329 and a stop loss about 314.
Okay, a target of 329 for the day, 340 possibly in the medium term as well. So 0.8% higher for a Glenmark Pharma on its way to achieving that target. Let's take you through the calculator plates then one last time in the show for this week at least. We've got Kunal, who's been stopped out on a Dr. Reddy's, but the other 3 counters continuing to make him good money, and he's holding on to those gains of over 5%. So 25,000 rupees is what he's making. Mitesh, on the other hand, a Sun TV is a call that he's been stopped out on, but the other 3 counters are quite buoyant, and he is making close to 75,000 rupees. And Gaurang, on the other hand, it's Ken India that's a spot of trouble, but the other 3 picks are working in his favor, placing him in the 3rd position, making close to 3.7%. So as things stand now, we've got Mitesh in the 1st position, followed by Kunal and then Gaurang. But do remember, we've still got the rest of the trading day to go through, so you can catch who's the final winner of this week's edition at 3:30 p.m. on closing trades only on ET Now.